we have Allah, Bayah, right? Ah, Ba, right? This is how you get the term alphabet, right? Hebrew is the original language. Give me the book. Favorite language, right quick. Okay. Matthew, do me the favor again. Page 3. Okay. First paragraph right there. Record Matthew, if I could, right? Show them the book that we're about to read, right? This is not a book we made up ourselves. This is the biblical Hebrew textbook, right? The authors, Ben Kajani, Kittle, Vicky Hoffer, Rebecca Ash, right? White people, right? I have to say that to make sure, right? Because that's how people don't believe black people. So I gotta say white people, right? This is from Yale University, right? It's nothing we made up. We did not make this up, right? Go back to the paragraph there, right? You're gonna read it from the top, nice and loud.
The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world still in use today.
So the Hebrew alphabet, go by this one, right? Where we wrote in the ancient. That is the oldest alphabet in the world, right? This came during the Assyrian captivity of the Israelites, right? So we wrote this as Kunz because the Assyrians wrote in a cuneiform. They wrote like this, right? They wrote like that, right? They wrote like this, right? They wrote nice and civilized, and this is chicken scratches to me, right? But they look at our writing like graffiti. The same how your graffiti look down and they see it on the wall, they want to scrub it off, right? And their writing was nice and civilized. So we created our writing that was very neat and civilized as a way to try to be closer to them, right? To the Assyrians, right? Keep reading.
Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous route.
Right, our own alphabet, because this is Yale University talking, right? So in Yale University, they speak English, right? So they're saying our own alphabet, the English, is born out of the Hebrew.
The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development.
Right, so they say in the Bible, you're going to have periods of development. We have the ancient Hebrew where the Israelites spoke, and then of course, the Israelites go into Assyrian captivity, and they start adding A's at the end of the word instead of the R's, right? And then, for the sake of Jewish people, they're going to talk about the periods of development referring to the writing style, and they're going to include their Jewish dialect in there because they today are considered the Israelites and we are considered niggas. We're just considered black Americans, Africans. That's how they consider us. We're not considered the Israelites, right? So when the Jewish people speak the Yiddish, they're referring to the Yiddish being a part of an evolved form of the ancient Hebrew that the Israelites spoke.
Originally, only the consonants were used.
Originally what?
Only the consonants were used.
Now originally, there were no vowels. U and O are vowels. Originally, read it again.
Only the consonants were used.
Only the consonants were used, right? Break it down, Matthew. What does it mean, only the consonants? Right. What does it mean that only the consonants were used?
There was no vowels.
There was no vowels. Give some examples of some vowels.
A-E-I-O-U.
A-E-I-O-U. Come on, read it again.
Originally, only the consonants were used.
And what Brian said matches up with what the scholars at Yale University teach. They teach this. This is a known fact. So this is not a language that the Isupk made up. Have you ever heard that the Isupk made up the Lashawan Qadash? People with no vowels? You heard it before? Well, Yale University says that the Hebrew didn't have any vowels in it. So we didn't make this up. This is just the truth, and you became the home of the truth. All right? Keep reading.
By the time of the Israelite kingdoms,
now they're referring to Jewish people again. Keep reading.
Some consonants, the ya, the wa, and the ha.
Right, the ya, right? Which is this. The ya. Right? Keep going.
were used to indicate certain vowels.
So now here's the wa, right? Which they said was on there, right? The wa, the ha, the ya. The wa was used to indicate certain vowels. And here's the vowels that we wrote in the part that they indicate. Keep reading.
The ha was a.
The ha, right? The ha meaning this thing right here, right? Or this, right? It became an a. Keep going.
The ya was an I or E.
The ya, right, which is this thing right here, became an I or an E. Right? Keep going.
And the wa was an O or U.
And the wa, right? Wa became a what?
O or U.
O or a U. Which is what we got right here. And that's the same O that's in shalom. All right? Keep going. And then hold on. The wa became an O or U. So they wrote with the wa. Fake Israelites who didn't know no better. Failed students of the school who didn't know no better. They followed what the white man said. And then they just took how the Jewish man wrote shalom, and then they, knowing that there's no vowels in there, they counted what they use as a consonant for a vowel. The fake Israelites took the vowels that was made from the consonant and created shalom. All right, keep going.
These letters continue to be used as consonants as well. Much later in the middle,
because the records use the ha and the ya and the wa as the normal construct of how he wrote this. So the wa was still a text. Why in our Hebrew? This part right here. Right? This is our way of saying ing in the middle of a word. Right? So we would look at this in our way as ing. Right? Where that's piecing. But for us, this will be shalom would be not a greeting, but it will be a way of reconciling with someone. So you have peace, right? Ing is a verb word, right? It's how you turn things into the verb. You have a computer, right? Computer's a thing. If I say you're computing something, right? Now you're doing something. So you have peace in the relativeness of peace. But then you have piecing. Why? Because you need to create peace with someone. All right? So that's what shalom is in reality, and that's not how fake Israelites use the word shalom. Because they don't know Hebrew. They don't know where things are supposed to go, and I can't blame them. I mean, they're not prepared. All right? Keep reading.
Much later in the Middle Ages, a system of dots and dashes was devised to indicate every vowel.
A lot later when?
In the Middle Ages.
In the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, referring to the Dark Ages, is when the people from the Khazar Empire, right? These were people who were called Amalekites, which were one tribe of white people who were not joined with the Greeks and Romans, right? But they lived as savages out there in, I want to say, the north. Just think of Turkey, that area right there, Turkey, right? Before they moved to areas like Ukraine and all that, right? Amalekites was there, right? They were rolling by themselves because they thought as a chief tribe, they thought that they was better than the rest of the white people, and they still do it today, right? There's nothing new under the sun, right? So when you read in the Bible, where the children of Amalek went to where we were leaving Egypt, and we got our armies in the front, led by Moses, right? Who was a man of God, right? And he was leading the army, and then you had the sick and the lame in the back, with the children and the elderly rolling in the back. Amalek came up. Right, I went to kill all the elderly people who were behind, the elderly and the children and all that was behind at the back of the camp as we were leaving out of Egypt. Right? So that's Amalek. Right? Keep it. And then they refer to the dots and dashes. So here's Shalom, right? So they put dots and dashes around it as a way to indicate vowels, right? To indicate how they say it in the European way. They did that in the Middle Ages, meaning that's not from the origin. That's not when Israelites were Israelites. You see what I'm saying? That's not when the Negroes were Israelites. But when the Khazars converted to Judaism to become now Jewish, right? As a way to, and they did it only as a way to make peace between the Christian and the Ottoman wars. Right. If it was not for the Christian and Ottoman wars, they would have just been Khazars. They would have never cared to make themselves, be Jewish. They were scared. They were scared. They're in the middle of a war. They got Negroes on both sides. They got Negroes as Muslims, and you got Negroes as Christians in Europe in the Dark Ages, right? And they wanted to find a way where they could be right in the middle and make money from both sides, like they do today. No different than today, where in America you have the Jewish element, and then they say, we can just supply weapons to both sides, or we can insure both sides, or we can somebody make money off both sides. That element is here today because that's their element. All right? Finances and accounting and to be in the middle of both sides. All right? Keep reading.
This was done by scholars we call Masoretes.
So now the guest system was done by who?
Scholars we call Masoretes.
So they're Jewish scholars. Jewish scholars, right? Excuse my writing, right? Jewish scholars called Masoretes, right? Masoretes. This is a phenomenon you're gonna hear a lot about when they come into the world. About when people say that they change, the people say that they change the records. A lot of times you hear that, they changed the Bible, or they put this in the Bible. They're referring to the Masoretes. Today you're going to hear them be referred to as the Masoretes. Right? The same people. I don't know if you heard of the Masoretes before. They are Jewish scholars, right? So these are the people that deal with the records of Hebrew Israelite culture. Hebrew meaning the language, Israelite meaning the people. Right? Keep reading.
By that time, the text was so sacred.
By that time, the text was so sacred to Jewish people. They considered the text sacred because now they converted to Judaism. They now call themselves Jewish, right? So now they think that they are the Jews. So they value these things. They're not going to allow anyone to harm it. Keep reading. Read the part again.
By that time,
the
text was so sacred.
By that time, referring to the Dark Ages, when they start putting all these things in it, the Dagesh, right? The text was so sacred, Yale University says. Keep reading.
That the vowel letters.
The text meaning the Bible, right? The vowel letters, keep reading.
Yah, Wah, and Ha could not be removed.
The Wah, Yah, and Ha could not be removed. Keep reading.
So the dot dash system was used in addition.
So they didn't want to change the language too far from the biblical Hebrew. So they put dots and dashes instead in the Bible. So they didn't add no letters into the text. Instead, they put dots and dashes to refer to these. But in their regular day, they'll write this. But in the Bible, they're not going to write this. You're not going to see Shalom in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? They're going to see dots and dashes to replace this, what they would like to have in there. But the text is so sacred. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading. So in other words, what the Masoretes are saying, they put dots and dashes in there because they did not change the Bible. They didn't change the text. They didn't add writing in there, taking anything out. They didn't add the Lord's name in there. Right? There's a group called the GOCC who was failed. You don't hear about it no more, right? But that's true. Right. You don't hear about it no more, right? They were saying that they don't say Yahweh. They now say Ahaya, Asharahaya, because the Masoretes changed the text to put Yahweh in there. That's not, they made it up. See what I'm saying? They say that based on themselves. But what did Yale University say? Who has all of the studies? What does academia say? Read the part again.
Which part?
The part about the Masoretes.
Much later in the Middle Ages, a system of dots and dashes was devised to indicate every vowel. This was done by scholars we call Masoretes.
This was done by scholars we call Masoretes. Why? Read.
By that time, the text was so sacred that the vowel letters Yod, Wad, Ha could not be removed, so the dot dash system was used in addition to the vowel letters.
In addition to the vowel letters, right? So they did not want to change the text. All right? So the Masoretes did not want to change the text. So, and they said in addition to the vowel letters, meaning in their regular day, they'll put the vowel letters in there. Because now, here's how we write. All right? We write telephone. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters. Right? I'm gonna tell you what Jewish people do, right? They take the T. The T, let me write it in Yiddish, right? They write like this. At the top, we got the La, and we got the Pa, right? And we got the Ha there. Right? I don't think they put the H there, right? But they'll put the O. They'll put the O there, right? And they write it as a Wa, right? And I think then the Na, right? But then you got E. So what they'll do is behind the top, they'll put a dot here and a dot here to say there's an E behind these things, right? And that's what they do in their everyday regular talk, right? You can look on Google right now, right? Look for Yiddish, I mean, I'll put telephone in there, right? You're gonna see something like this. But they're not gonna change the text. They're not gonna change the Tanakh. They're not gonna change the spelling of anything in the Bible, right? Because they consider that sacred. Okay?
For example, long E, like in pray, can be represented by either the Yah with 2 dots underneath a line or just the 2 dots underneath a line. Long E, like in pray, can be represented by either a Yah with a line and 2 dots underneath.
So they got a Yah with a line and 2 dots underneath, right? To say pray, and then they said like a long E, right? So think of an E, long. So what about a short E? I suppose it does 2 Yah, right? But they got the key here. Where's the E here? Oh, it's the same Yah. Good. So they have a Yah here, and the prayer has 2 dots there, right? And that was a way for when they say things in their Yiddish dialects, reading the Bible, they don't change the text of the Bible. Okay, good. So the Masoretes did not change anything in the Bible, right? So people can get that argument there, right? Good. Okay. You got that, right? We got the Adam and you got it, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 8.
Right. So this is Genesis now, right? Where the Masoretes didn't change. All right, go ahead.
And they heard the voice of the Lord, God, walking in a garden in the cool of the day.
Now the Garden of Eden is the land of the 4 rivers. Right? That's another misconception of figures like speak. Right? Where they say, oh, Israel is in Africa. Because the oldest man was found there. That's the white man said the first man was found there. Right? Okay. The game is to not let Israelites know who they are, so they can't call on their God,
Right.
so that they can't get free from America.
Right.
That's the game. The game is to make America go as long as it can. Just think of you a man. Don't think of ourselves as a poor Negroes that we are. Think of a man as all the riches in the world. You won the lottery. How do you keep the lottery money? You got it for nothing. As a matter of fact, you inherited the lottery money from your dad. How do you keep this money? You don't want to go broke. You see what I'm saying? You took your dad's library money, you invested it, right? You got it into slave corporations. You got Negroes working in your companies for minimum wage. You're making $1 billion every quarter, right? You're reporting millions of dollars, billions of dollars, and making $1 billion a year, right? And then the only thing that could jeopardize your crazy income will be all of your slaves leaving there and either starting their own businesses or looking for how they can get home. Now that's the entire workforce going. Right. You want to keep the workforce. You want to keep people working for minimum wage so you can get all of the profit. That's why the Bible talks about these great gatherers, right? Would they not gather as much, right? Or if a robber comes to you at night, would you not leave some grape behind? Not this white man, not this oppressor. You don't want to leave no grape behind. That's the kind of man you're dealing with. So for him to keep the game going on as long as he can, you have to continue being a nigger. You can't be like Kyrie Irving on the news talking about Hebrews to Negroes. Right. You can't be like Kanye West talking about the blacks or Jews also, right? In a polite way. You can't be like that because that jeopardizes what the entire country is built on. Right. And not only the entire country, but the empire. You see what I'm saying? All of France's revenue, I don't know if you know, the majority of the revenue in France, right, comes from their GDP, comes from goods that they sell to Latinos in the States. Right? We can get an article, we read an article all the time, right? So France's economy, right, is heavily reliant upon selling things to Latinos in the States, right? And then, come on, you want to talk about Negroes and Native Indians here in the States. How is liquor companies going to get their money? Yeah, you get the money started. How do you keep it going? You can't stop now. And next thing you know, it's people shooting and murdering behind the scenes for money. So you got to keep this game going on. You're not a Jew. You're not an Israelite. You're a nigga. You're black. You know what I'm saying? We got programs where you can go to Ghana and buy land. You can go home to Ghana. And you have people in Ghana. When you go to Ghana, welcome home. But they're going to keep the game going. That's how Ghana gets rich. Ghana gets rich from America. All of their cars and stuff, the BMW they're driving over there in Nigeria and Ghana, relies upon American money. So in other words, for the Ghanaian economy or the Nigerian economy, America has to remain strong so that they can get their riches too. Right. The Nigeria sell oil. Go ahead.
Also, they had a ring back in the 90s, where they were stealing them cars and shipping them to Africa.
So why? Right. And they do it right now. It was on the news the other day. It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They run them, yeah.
Yeah, they steal the cars. They drive them to the docks in Brooklyn. And those cars end up in Nigeria.
Right.
Yeah.
So now if America falls, then how are they going to get their car? How are they going to make money?
Right.
They need America to keep going. They need to play this game all over the world. The Chinese need to play this game all over the world to keep this game going. But the Lord is going to use that and fit them all to war against each other to get us free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? America has to go, it's going to be free. You can't love two masters. You're going to love one and hate the other. We're going to find out a lot of sellouts in these Christians. Right. We're going to find that a lot of them hate God and the Bible. You see what I'm saying? But reading the truth in the Bible don't get them no riches. Okay? But lying is very profitable for now. And those lies that they teaching around the world, man, those ain't nothing but crumbs, man. All right? So we're going to go with the alphabet here. All right? So we got the alphabet, which is where the Greek man gets alpha. Right? So the Greek man gets alpha. Right? We read it in the book a while ago. Even our language today is born out. Read from the top again. Page 3.
The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world still in use today. Our own alphabet,
English, which is born out of Greek Greco-Roman, right? Alphabet, right? They call it alphabet because it's really this. Alpha is Aleph and bet is Bayat. Right? Or they'll say, some of them will say beta. Alpha, beta, right? That's this same thing going on right here. Keep reading.
Our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous route.
By a circuitous route. So in a circle. So here's the start here with Hebrew. And then you go off into something else, right? And then you have English. Right? English. So you have Hebrew, and you have Greek, Roman alphabet, right? And then you have English. And then somehow these European languages in Europe, right, formed Yiddish, which is not really Hebrew. So it's not really a circuitous route. It's really a line. It's really like a tree of branches, which is I wanted to go into the branches in Genesis, right? So it's from Hebrew to Greek to European, that is European vowels, and now they have European vowels in the Yiddish, all right? Right? Okay, you can drop that, right? Keep reading Brian on the Genesis, right? The Genesis. You go to the Coriander, you know what I mean? Big up, hey, anyone in Connecticut, right? Make sure you go on isupk.com and look up for Isupk in Connecticut. There's a school in Connecticut. You got Camp in New Haven, all right?
You want to read from the top or from where I left off?
From where you left off, sure.
All right. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High amongst the trees of the garden.
That's what we do. That's what we do when we want to hide from our culture. Right? We find ourselves a lot of times hiding amongst the trees of the garden. Now, this tree is a family tree. That's how nations are born out of, right? You have one man, Noah, and he has 3 branches: Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And those branches branch off to be Mizraim, Canaan, right? Mizraim, Canaan, Put, right? And who's the other one? Canaan, Cush, Libya is Put, right? And then you have Shem, who will be Chinese, Japanese, white people, Arabs, right? So forth. And you have Japheth, supposed to be the Samoans, the native Aborigines of Australia, the natives of New Zealand, the natives of the Eskimos, the natives of Guam, and so forth, right? And then now all of those branches from that family tree are covered with leaves, which is our metaphor saying culture. So we have Israelite leaves. When you see us, he's wearing Israelite leaves, because leaves cover a tree.
Right.
That's the clothing of a tree. And then, it gets cold, before it happens, the tree gets naked. All right? So then you have a covering, which is a covering of my spirit, which is the Israelite spirit. And then you have a covering of the Jewish man. Right? People who say Shalom are from the covering of the Jewish man. When you have brothers who are, they know they're Israelites, but then they don't know how to be an Israelite, so they look at the Jewish man and they wear the they call that thing the yarmulke.
Yeah.
The yarmulke, or you might see them with the strings right here, the strings on their belt loop, or even the T-shirt with the fringes. That was all Jewish. They got small garments that sewn right here, and they got fringes on it, right? That's where figurines get their T-shirt with fringes from, right? Learning from the Jewish man, all right? Keep reading on, right?
Verse 9. And the Most High called unto Adam.
Hold on, give me that last verse again.
From the top. Genesis chapter 3, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And they heard the voice of the Most High walking in the garden in the cool of the day.
They heard the Most High, the voice of the Most High walking in the garden. Now the garden, right, is the garden of Eden, which is just like his garden of Eden. The garden in the Hebrew is ha gan. That's a garden in Hebrew, right? Ha meaning the, and gan, right? God is the word for garden, and from this word you're gonna have ma gan, right? Ma gan, right? Where the ma is, we know that ma, the preposition is of, right? And ma gan became the word for shield, right? Because a garden, if you have a house, here's your house, right? Here's your mansion, right? In the Garden of Eden, right? And then you have a garden around the house, right? The only thing that separates you from the outside world, right? From swords and say a gun, right? Say a gun and then robbers, right? Robbers, the people that want to lynch you, right? You have the hedges in the garden with these tall trees, right? These tall trees. That is like the hairs of your garden. That's why gate in Hebrew is the same word as hair, right? Shire is the same word for gate, right? So for hair and gate is the same thing because they act in the same way. This is how Hebrew grows. We have a way of saying one thing. So we have your head. Here's the top of your head. The hair protects you from the atmosphere on your head. Right? An insect can bite your scalp because there's hair in the way. Right? So your hair is like a gate. Unless you open, see how his Matthew's hair is? Look at Matthew's hair right there, right? I didn't put you on the spot, right? That's Matthew's hair right there, right? You got an afro. The only way, right, an insect can bite his head is if he pulls the hair apart like a gate. So like your scalp is exposed. The opening to the flesh of your body is there. And gate is the same way. That is how our language is in all parts. All right? Okay? So now, you have the hedge around the garden, protecting what's inside, because that's how we are now. We are in the garden. Adam and Eve is in the garden right here. They're walking in the garden. Hear the voice of the Most High. How do you hear the voice of the Most High? Modern day, by the prophets of the Lord. Right? Keep reading.
And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High amongst the trees of the garden.
So now the trees of the garden are the other families, right? That are in or around the garden. So now you hide yourself from the Most High by not showing yourself as one of his kids, or like showing yourself like you're someone else's kid.
Right.
And you do that by dressing up with silk dragon t-shirts from China and a break it down, Brother John.
Oh, so Salaki, so if I may, putting on the costumes on Halloween.
There you go. That's a perfect example. Because people are dressing up like somebody else.
Come.
Here's the problem. We don't know that we do Halloween every day. We do Halloween every day. But we're not Americans.
Right.
We were in States. We lost our culture. So now we wear American culture. Or if you're Muslim, you wear the Arabs' culture. That's people hiding themselves from the Lord. So the Lord don't see you, but you're hidden. Okay? Or Jewish culture. You find out you're an Israelite, you don't put on Jewish culture. That's the leaves of someone else in the garden.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Keep reading, friend.
Verse 9. And the Most High called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? Verse 10.
And that's what the Lord is doing right now. The Lord is saying, where are my children?
Right.
Because when I look in the earth, all I see is brothers that want to be white people. I don't see none of my kids out here. You see what I'm saying? Imagine going to a school, right? We black here, right? You go to your black school, you got some white kids in there, you know, every black school you got like 2 white kids in there, right? You go to your black school, you're looking for your black kids, but your black kids got white chalk on their face. So you standing from the floor, like looking at the playground, where is my son?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He just dyed his hair all blonde. I know, my kid got black, I can't find my kid. Telling the teacher in the school, I can't find my kid. What's the description of the kid? He's black, you got black kid, got an afro, right? And they look into the playground, and your kid got white chalk on his face, and his hair is blonde. So now we're gonna be like, oh my gosh, your son is not here. We're gonna file a missing report and put him on all the milk cartons.
That's right.
So we're looking for Israelites' kids. Can't find him nowhere. Where is he at? And he done grew up. He got a culture of putting chalk in his face. You know what I mean? You got a culture of cutting his hair all off, being a bald head, and we can't find our sons no more. You see what I'm saying? We got Matthew growing his hair out, man. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So that good hair. That's strong, man. That's our culture, man. That hand hair. You know what I mean? Keep it in pride.
Verse 10. And he said,
And that's hair like wool, like the Bible says.
Yes, sir.
Woolly hair like Jesus Christ had. Keep it.
Verse 10. And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked.
I was what?
I was naked.
Now, naked means shameful too. Naked meaning, here's the thing with naked too, right? In this context right here. In this context, when you go in the streets, as an Israelite, like me, look how I'm just right now. I'm just like an Israelite.
Right.
And I go into Midtown Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? They look at me like I'm a naked man. They look at me like, oh, that guy. How do you look like that? You see what I'm saying? Now, if I don't have no integrity, I'm like, oh shit, I hate this stuff. It's like, picture a woman who's naked. She walks outside. Say she's a sleepwalker. She walks out of the house outside in her underwear, right? Well, now that's normal, right? Go wear that underwear party. But imagine in a world where it's right, it's not normal, right? Imagine a world where it's not normal. Or to walk outside in her underwear and bra. She's sleepwalking. And she walks right into the supermarket and she snaps into it. And she looks down. Oh, snap. Damn, she's not doing this. Right? That's Israelites with Israelite culture. That we've learned to be ashamed of ourselves. Before naked, when we go to an area where there's white people there, and we're acting too black. Before naked, we feel like, oh, one time. How are you doing, Mr. Wally? We put on a voice. That's the nakedness of the garden. See what I'm saying? We wanted to fit in. See what I'm saying? We want to worship some God you can't see. All the other nations worship God they can see by some statue or some weird picture. See what I'm saying? You worship a God you can't see. Oh my God, I can't look white. No, that worship a God I can't see. Baal. Come on now. Naked. All right? Keep reading.
I was naked.
By the way, Baal in Hebrew is Baal. That's how you pronounce Baal. Baal is how you say Baal is like this in Hebrew. Right? Baal. Okay? Go ahead.
And I hid myself. Verse 11. And he said,
and he did what?
And I hid myself.
He hid himself. He hid himself by doing Christmas and Halloween. And that Halloween is deep too. Because Halloween, the whole idea with Halloween was that in Europe, them Europeans, they thought that they were being haunted by their dead parents or something like that, their dead friend or their dead ancestors, that the dead was haunting them on that day.
Oh, God.
So they would dress up. They would dress up like the people that's scaring them. You know what I mean? They're just like somebody else. So when the spirit comes knocking on their door, they answer as somebody else or some gremlin or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Read it again.
And I hid myself.
They hide themselves from the ghost. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Verse 11. And he said, who told thee that thou wast naked?
Who told you that your Israelite culture is not good enough? That you don't look good in this? Who told you that your culture is strange? Who told you that your blackness is strange? That's what the Lord is saying. Who told you that you have to act like them to be normal? Who said that they were normal? Come on now. Read.
Hast thou eaten of the tree?
Hast thou eaten of the tree? Keep reading.
Whereof I commanded thee, thou shouldst not eat.
Right. You should not eat from Christianity. You cannot listen to Christians. President,
Yes, sir.
give me the scripture where it says of many counselors.
Many counselors. Come on.
Right? Just put many counselors in the search here, right?
Oh, God.
You read it again, Brian?
Let's see, verse 11. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked?
Who told you that you naked?
Hast thou eaten of the tree?
Have thou eaten from the tree? Have you eaten from one, Christianity, the Christian tree? Have you eaten from two, the Muslim tree? Have you eaten from three, the Buddhism tree? All the atheist tree, all the feminist tree, all the, you go on and on and on, forever. Right? And this is why Yahweh said, give me Matthew 3 and 10 right quick. Matthew 3 and 10 right quick. I keep reading back, and you can, right?
Come on. Whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat.
Right? The Lord said you should not eat from the other trees. You find brothers up? Ecclesiastes chapter 30, I think 36 or 30. You got it, Matthew?
No.
Go ahead.
Matthew, the 3rd chapter, the 10th verse. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the tree.
The axe is laid unto the root of the tree. Because Christ's mission was the same as finishing what Adam started. Right? Adam got it wrong, and how was going to fix what Adam did in the beginning. That's why it's called the Alpha and the Omega. The beginning and the end. Because he's trying to fix what happened from the beginning. Amen.
Therefore, every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit,
We tried Christians. We tried being Christians. That was a failure. My God. Well, I think everyone is gay. You see what I'm saying? Big time, right? Hey, you got 3 churches on the block. The people in the block who grew up there, they all went there and they all went to jail.
Right.
That's the fruit of that tree. You see what I'm saying? Read a part again. Keep reading Matthew.
is hewn down.
It's hewn down. We need to cut down that Muslim tree too. We being Muslims and all we did was kill Malcolm X, kill everybody. We became drug dealers, all of Philly. Whether we're drug dealers, my God, Detroit, Chicago, right? We tried Muslims. We tried that garbage. You know what I'm saying? We tried atheism. All that is create baby man and spread AIDS. You see what I'm saying? But all of the sisters walking around with this symbol like this, like a 3 and a 0. We tried that, whatever that stuff is. We tried Buddhism. You see what I'm saying? That Buddhism don't make no broad keep no man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That makes come on now. Fathers can't see the kids, single mothers. Right? Because of Buddhism, right? Because of Christianity. You see what I'm saying? Our sisters tried feminism. They tried that crystals, all that crystal stuff. All that good energy. That don't fix none of their behavior. You see what I'm saying? They got the scope for good energy, and all she do is do what? Give you bad energy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we tried these trees. Failures. Cross out that one too. Failures. They got this tattoo on the back of their neck with some people. I'll be seeing some of that. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
And cast into the fire.
Cast it into the fire, which is the job of the Isupk. Go out there and blaze.
Right.
Blaze is fire.
Right.
Blaze on these trees that ain't no good for us. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
I indeed, this is verse 11. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance. But he that cometh after me is mightier than I.
That's John the Baptist talking. Meaning what? He used to baptize with water. But that was one time, that was our way. But it didn't help. It didn't stop mothers from being single. It didn't stop a brother from killing another brother. He said the one coming after me should be what?
Mightier than I.
That's how it's at the Christ. Keep it.
Whose shoes I am not worthy to bear.
Did it say baptize the fire there or that different verse here?
It says it there.
Keep it.
He shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire.
And you're going to baptize with fire. So we put fire on those trees. See what I'm saying? We don't water those trees and hope that the tree gets better by washing it. We put fire to that tree. We dead Christianity. We dead Islam.
Right.
We dead Rastafarianism.
Right.
We dead feminism and atheism and all that. See what I'm saying? No problem. Back to Brad.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 12. And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
See, you can't blame the woman. Because my girlfriend, she was going off into crystals and feminism and Christianity. Now you look mad.
Right.
You understand? You're supposed to say, yo, I'm in the UPK. That's how my Israelite, and that's it. You know, do what you want. I'm gonna follow the Most High.
Right.
I mean, you're gonna see the results.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But back then, Adam was like many of us. You know, of course, there's many brothers who, because of their girlfriend, they won't come to school. It's not about school. I've already been married. I've lost 2 marriages coming in here. I lost my baby mother, the mother of my daughter. I lost a rib that I had for 5 years coming in here. You know what I mean? Also, my mother coming in here. Now, she ended up coming into school. Right? Yeah, that's my mom.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but she, at first, she kicked me out the house. It was in New York. I was young. You know what I mean? She kicked me out the house. I moved to Long Island. And I said, yo, no problem, man. I'm at the Most High now.
Right.
I'm about to never speak to her again. And then she called me back. You know. Of course, you have to honor that mother. You have to love your mother. Respect your mother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The same how Abraham's father, Terah, was a sun worshiper. Right? He worshipped on Sunday like Christians. Right? But he didn't say, you know, F you, dad, or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But he went to go find out about his God, man, and worship his God.
Right.
You know what I mean? Still honored his father. Because, you know, he don't know no better. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High said unto the woman,
Mm-hmm.
what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me.
Oh, the white man out there, he knocked on my door at 10 o'clock when my man was at work. That's what the sister said. This white man knocked on my door telling me about the Jehovah's Witness stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. They always go to the woman. Now we at camp, we on the mind, we blame them at camp. You know what I mean? The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Well, who does the white man go to? He whispers in some sister's ears. You know, these guys are crazy, right? You know, they're an hate group, right? You know, so, right?
Right.
And then next thing you know, just to walk away. And you have to say, like, yo, you got to not listen to the snake. The snake was an actual snake. The same as how in your neighborhood, you might have a brother who's a rat. Or the sister would say, all men are dogs. You see what I'm saying? Or we would say, she's a chicken. That's a chicken head. Don't get with that chicken head, that bird. Don't get with that bird. Or we might say, what's that Dipset song? Bird Gang. Purple City Bird Gang. See, that's how we talk. Now, this man was a snake.
Right.
You see, this is a man who's low down and dirty, and he does everything under the table. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a low down, dirty bastard, and he bites from where no one can see. All right? Keep reading.
Finishing up verse 13. And I did eat.
And they gobble up that heathen culture. Christianity is the culture of the white man.
Right.
Islam is the culture of the Arabs.
Right.
Buddhism is the culture of the Chinese. Right. Hinduism is the culture of the Indians. Right. Kemet is the culture of our former slave masters and Asian Africans. See what I'm saying? Feminism, white women's ideas, culture, religion. Ideology is a religion. Behind every religion is ideology. All right? Front is up.
Salaki, sir, I have that scripture.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 6, verse 6. Be in peace with many.
The Bible says, be in peace with many. Read.
Nevertheless,
Have
but one counselor.
Get the door first.
Come.
Of thousands.
Of 1,000. Get a piece of me out, Matthew, right? See, that's the 6 and 6. Right? He said, be in peace with many. You can have brothers who are not in the ISUPK. You can have family members who are not in the ISUPK. You see what I'm saying? You could be exposed to other religions in your surrounding. Right? Well, read it again, Matthew. Go ahead.
Be in peace with many.
You can be in peace with a Christian. You can be in peace with your neighbors on your street. You don't have to fight everybody. You see what I'm saying? You can love your brothers in the ISUPK. You can love the brothers outside of the ISUPK. You can love Kyrie Irving. He's not in the school. You can love Kanye West. He's not in the school. You can love them. Keep reading.
Nevertheless,
You can love Nick Cannon, but Nick Cannon is not your leader. Don't be mad with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving apologized. Don't be mad at him. He's not like us. Nick Cannon is not like us. That's not. His job is to entertain. That's what Nick Cannon does. His job is wilding out. Create the. Yo, vamos. I know that. That's his job.
Right.
Our job is to do this. Kyrie Irving, his job is to play ball. You know, you can't get mad at them and have the same expectations for them as like us. Read it again.
be in peace with many.
Don't hate Kyrie Irving because he apologized. Not his job. Keep reading.
Nevertheless,
Have
have but one counselor of 1,000.
but one counselor of 1,000. What does that mean also? You don't go listen to every religion and try to pick out the bone. What does it say? Pick out the bone and eat the meat. That's what the Lord said to do. Show me pick out the bone and eat the meat in the Bible. Right? You got brothers who listen to every Israelite group. So when it comes to the ISUPK, I like what you say. I believe everything you say, except I believe a man can only have one woman. Right? That's what they do, right? That's what they do. They say, I'm with you 100%. Well, I watch all Israelite groups and I believe a man can have one woman. Because that man goes against the instructions from the Bible. Now, if you want to be an IUIC, be IUIC. Don't be lukewarm. Don't be hot here and trying to mix the hot with cold of some other group. Right? Be in peace with many. You can talk to all the cat from IUIC. You can love, he's your brother. You can love him. But what? Read it again. But
Nevertheless,
have
have but one counselor of 1,000.
but what?
But one counselor.
Have one counselor out of
1,000.
Out of every Israelite group you have, there's supposed to be one that you follow. Right? Here's the problem. Finally, you're going to have one counselor. Who's this counselor? I don't know. Kyrie Irving does not have one counselor. You see what I'm saying? Does he have many? Does he have any? I don't know. He watches the Hebrews to Negroes, so he has one counselor. You see what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I mean? The fruit of the Hebrews to Negroes might just be people who apologize in the end. No problem, right? But we have a different counsel over here where we don't give up. You see what I'm saying? We don't give up over here. We don't cowards. We got no excuses over here. Trust us up.
Salaki, so if I may, and what you're saying is so hard by One West, because you have people in the world.
So the Lord says, Bible.
No, it's the Bible. It's
All
Salaki.
time.
Most
all body.
Hardcore. And what you know what I'm saying? What you're saying is so right, because you got people in the world who say, what will come to you, like, I don't agree with nothing that you say. You know, or I agree with some of the things that you say. Can you please help my son get off drugs? But they don't agree with you.
But they don't agree with you.
But they want you to give, you know what I'm saying? They want you to give their son, you know what I'm saying? Help them, you know what I'm saying, to give off drugs. And this is people in the world.
Here's the thing. The thing that we do and believe gets people off drugs.
Right.
That people come in here, and because they follow us, they get off drugs. But if they follow us a little bit, then they got someone else who they follow who says, we say, get off of drugs. And another one saying, one more time, man. It's one last time. It's one more time every week, man. Every week is the last time.
Right.
Every week is I'm not going to do it no more. Because you listen to two thoughts. You listen to two people's ideology. You're following, you got two counselors. Right? And thou serve two masters. You're going to love one, hate the other. Here's what happens. Everyone hates UPK. We're the most hated, we're the hated. Everyone hates us. You know, they don't talk about IUIC. They talk about, on the TV, they talk about those guys. You listen to those BHIs, those black people, Israelites in Times Square. You listen to them.
Right.
You listen to, come on now, we all knew about Times Square in New York. You know what I mean? This hard other stuff, this black, made up a language. Come on. I saw everybody kind of for a second.
Oh, God.
I saw everyone.
I'm gonna say, well, that it's an herb, and God gave us herbs to eat.
Oh, God, we're talking about weed. You know what I mean? By the way, right? Cannabis. Cannabis is a rumor in the street, right? Right, the prophet, right? Cannabis, right? Does not bosom in the Bible.
Right.
So you heard it before?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what they say. They say cannabis is good because they have different kind of incense. Incenses. Incenses for Aaron and Levi. They use different incenses in the censer. And they talk about cannabis, right? In the Hebrew. Right? Cannabis. Not cannabis, right? Cannabis blossom. This word right here is written like so. Right? Sham. Right? This is what kind of blossom is in the Bible, right? Whoever don't know about this, you can take 2 seconds and Google this, right? Let's put in, looking it up, Brian.
I'm trying to. Wi-Fi not that good right now.
Oh, no problem, right? You do it in your own time. They're gonna say kind of, it's usually some white people. White people is against the Bible now, right? They are always not in the truth, is what Jesus Christ said, right? All this neo-Nazi and hippie stuff, right? Being against the shield of David, right? Being for marijuana. This is one of them that's for marijuana, right? Quanah. This word right here, quanah, which is where they get the candy from, right? This is a stalk. Like a stalk, like a cane, like a bush, go like this, right? And basham is the Hebrew word to say sweet. Right? That's what basham is. That's this word right here. Right? That's basham. Right? Sweet stalk. Right? And this sweet right here is also a way of saying sugar, because that's how you make these sweets. Right? So a long time ago, we had something called sugar cane. Right? And the best people that can make sugar cane would be the people who have all the flavor, the Israelites.
Right.
So you gotta take those people who make the sugar cane, have them planted in Jamaica and Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and because those are the people of sugar. And we need sugar in Europe. Right? So make those people slaves so they can grow this sweet sugar stalk or sugar cane. Who ever heard of sugar cane before? Where sugar comes from. And they bust some with sugar cane, man. It's not weed, man. Weed is not sweet. Alright? I know English comes from Hebrew, but not this one. Alright? This is cannabis, probably some Indian word or something like that. No, God is from India. I don't know what cannabis is from. Right? But it's not the same. Right? That's not weed in the Bible. Alright? Or further on.
So we have a question. I never heard of this before, but it say Shasha Magun Alawa Kobal. Comic-Con Shalaka said. He just want to know, can I get the link to say my Hebrew alphabet? I'm not. The question sounded really funny. So.
Okay, you want the link to get the Hebrew alphabet? That's the Hebrew. That's the link that last time, right? See if we can
see.
If we can do it right there. Look in the email.
In the emails?
The link to the Hebrew alphabet. We had the file. We had the file on the right? Yeah. What scripture we had there?
Ecclesiasticus.
No.
Oh.
Let the brothers over here.
Oh, come.
See if you can find the link for the Hebrew alphabet. See if you can post it in the chat. Right?
Come.
Go ahead, Matt.
With what?
Just keep it from 6.
Okay.
Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
That is why brothers were dressed in all black. Yeah, and you got to prove a friend. Why? Read.
Be not hasty to credit him.
Be not hasty to credit him. A man comes around talking about, yeah, Christ is black, we're Israelites. You don't know what kind of guy he is. You know, you don't know if this is someone who's gonna harm somebody in your school. So give them more black. Give them time to wash themselves of the world. You see what I'm saying? To bring them, to make them a one of us, to make them a family, to be a part of the cult. they people are they call it a cult. I don't know. I know I live here. Right here. Well, cult is the root word of culture. So I lost my culture status. I want my culture back. Right? People label us as a cult, no problem. We're the hated ones. We're the ones that's naked in the garden. You see what I'm saying? So now they say a cult, oh my gosh. I can't let anybody know I'm part of this cult. Snap. Don't look at my YouTube. Come on. You gotta grow up. Grow up. Keep reading.
Verse 8.
Roger, you should be good now.
For some man is a friend.
You got it? You got the link?
No, just.
Oh, sorry, send them a link or not?
No, I approved the access.
Oh, you put my access. Okay, most access.
Oh, I see it.
Most access. Get on. Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
Some man is a friend in his own occasion.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
And some man will not abide all the way to the end. You see what I'm saying? To make thy election sure. Why? Read it again.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Right. Some brothers will not be a part of the brotherhood. You know, when it comes, when it's on the street, it's cool and everything. Yeah, it's fun for the YouTube. Yeah, but when it comes down to the war, when it comes down to when your house is about to come back and things is bad, and that brother ain't around. You know what I'm saying? So you prove a friend, put a brother on black. You know what I'm saying? Give him a test, give him an officer's test. See if you're gonna pass officer's test. See if is really down with us. You know what I mean? And then, you know, some brothers will and some brothers won't. Well, this is the rules from the Bible. Let's get back to the Genesis focus.
Come on. God's book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 14. And the Most High said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle.
Right. The oppressor is cursed above all cattle. Cattle's gonna be living nice in the kingdom. I don't know about y'all. My cows, all willing. You know, if I get cows, whether it's cows, goats, sheep, they're gonna have the nicest. I'm talking about those cows are gonna live better than some people. You know, I mean, I'm gonna have some Africans rubbing my cow down with shea butter.
Right.
My cow's gonna be the first cow in the world to have lotion. You're gonna have good. You're gonna get shampoo. My cow's gonna have shampoo. My gosh, man, shit, conditioner. You know what I mean? Where this from?
My cow's gonna have fur.
Your cow's gonna have fur. You know what I mean? God. You know what I mean? We can drop that though. Any more questions in there?
Nah, sir.
Is there any more on that there? Keep it.
And above every beast of the field, upon thy belly shalt thou go.
Every beast of the field, those beasts they're referring to other people. On that what?
On thy belly shalt thou go.
On that belly shalt thou go, which is how Kyrie Irving made a post. He didn't even write. He didn't even say nothing like Kanye West did. He shared a link to some YouTube video, right? And because of that now, right? The oppressor goes on and say, you are anti-Semitic. You made an anti-Semitic post. You need to apologize for all the things you said. He's like, man, I didn't say anything. What I did was share a post for a documentary. I ain't make the documentary. Right? You see what I'm saying? That's someone who's low down and dirty. Push your neck. A man full of murder in his mouth. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
And dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
Right. Dust is what he eats. Meaning what? He only eats from dust to the ground. Meaning the only way he eats is by being low down and dirty. This is a man who from nothing in America is right. You see what I'm saying? If he tries to go right, he will not survive. he cannot have fair business. He has to cheat. You see what I'm saying? They have to put Jake Paul, who's a young 25-year-old, with a man who's almost 50. Anderson the Silva, one of them won the fight past weekend. You see what I'm saying? For the white hope, you're gonna put a young, strong white man with an old, about to retire, came out of retirement for the fight. Let's put the money. You know what I'm saying? To have a beacon of hope for white strength in America. You have to be low down. You can't put a young white man with a young black man. They don't eat like that. They're gonna get the young white man against an old black man, and then put all the money on the would-have-be loser. So the profit is more. And then I don't know, Anderson still in the pro. He was out in round 2. He was out there. He couldn't even be touched. He was supposed with skills and all that. You know what I mean? I believe that they paid him to take the fall. I believe Anderson Silva was paid.
Like,
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
you know what happened with that Floyd Mayweather fight? They paid him to draw that fight out to the end.
Say it again?
When he fought Floyd Mayweather,
Who that?
Paul,
Okay.
same cat.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it was his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but either way, like that fight only lasted as long as it did because he was just playing. They clearly, paid him to let that fight last.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather, he about making money too. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he said, yo, people paying for a show, I got a show for you. That he already said it.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? You ain't gonna make him lose though. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He knows the game. You know what I mean? And then one day, you know what I mean, when if money gets tight, but he's a brother under the same curses. When money gets tight, he gonna take a pay for a fall too. You know what I mean? He probably could take a pay for a fall. You know what I mean? You get your money gets tight, somehow you start ending up in debt. And then people saying that yo, we want our money back or we gonna kill you. And then someone say, yo, I got to fight for you. $100 million. Take you out of your debt plus extra. You know what I mean? He gonna take the fall. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then a person come with that money too, but he's a snake. All right. So, all right, wow. Rob went over earlier. Rob. Okay. Okay. Okay, from the top now. Oh, you want to take a picture? Come close and take a picture. Come closer.
It's like a box.
You good. Get as close as you need to, all right? Any questions online, Professor?
I just checked, live, sir, but I'm still looking for the sheet. I can't find the sheet.
Okay. We're gonna link this sheet online, right?
I'm looking for it.
You're looking for a link to a file, so we can see if we can go into like a I know Google Drive lets you share links.
Google Drive.
Yeah, I know Google Drive.
Salaki, I don't know if I may. You're talking about like the regular Google search and just put up a sheet, or I don't know how to get into the Drive. Salaki.
Yeah, I know. Everybody was instructed every week to get the alphabet sheet from the account leader. And everybody should still do that while we do not have a way to provide them with the sheet online in this class, right? But General Kupala did bring up a good point, because that would be way more effective, where they can instead of, it's good to reach out, but if we could be more efficient by just having them click here, right, and get the output
Right
sheet,
there.
right?
It'll be right there, comma.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Block it, sir. For weapon, that's Zion. That's how you pronounce that? Zion?
Zion. Right. The way the brothers wrote it in school back in the day was, it was like a boomerang with an eye on the top and an eye on the bottom. That's how brothers had it written before. Right. Always, that was our thing. We good in warfare, so the tribe of Reuben, Seminole Indians, right, before they were shipped off to Mississippi, right, on the Treaty of Pain Landing, they would fight with tomahawks, with that little axe, right, and they would throw it. I mean, so who knew what we had back in the day, what throwing weapons we had back in the day, right? But the brothers in school, they were like a little boomerang. They wrote like that for a reason. They threw it on to say this was what the Zah was. And Zah is weapon. Zion is the actual word for a weapon. Okay. If you could give me hold 1 Kings for me, right? 1 Kings 21:8. Okay. So we have a lot. You want to give me 1, 2, Brian? Give me Esther 8:8, Brian, all right?
What?
Those three. Right? So this is a figure of a cow's head. Right? This is a figure of a cow's head. Right? With the head and the horns, right? This is a figure of a tent. Right? With the tent on the ground, you get the foundation going under the ground. Every house has to be built with the foundation. Right? Gamal, or camel, representing the hump on the camel's back in the air. Right? This da, right? Very key now, right? This da, this was the lock. This was the opening of the door of the tent. So the tent will be drawn like this, right? So now when you're moving apart the opening of the tent, which is more likely made out of leather, right? It opens to like a little triangle like this, right? That's how the door was made. And this became the figure for, which now becomes today the letter D. Like how the book said, all our alphabet today is born out of Hebrew, because this triangle thing right here ended up becoming the letter D. Just rounded now. Okay? And also, hey, give me that scripture you got there right there, Matthew, right? For how David's signature came about. Go ahead.
1 Kings 21st chapter, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
So she wrote letters in Ahab's name.
Right, every Israelite king, right, had a way of putting a stamp, an official mark to say, this is the letter of the king, right? Keep reading.
And sealed them with his seal.
And then they created a seal, just like today. You have a round seal, and it will say, you have the broad head with the lamp, not the lamp, but the scale, and a thing in the middle with an eagle on it, and then someone else holding the fruit. And that would be the seal of New York. New York has an official seal, right? Every king had a seal to say, this is the sign, or this is the proof that I wrote this. This is an official letter, right? Keep it.
And sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city,
Right.
dwelling with Nabal.
Good. Give me that scripture you got there,
You said Esther, which chapter, sir?
Esther 8:8, and then Matthew, you're gonna give me 2 Esdras 10:23.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Write ye also for the Jews,
Write also for the Jews, the Israelites. Keep on.
as it liketh you,
Uh-huh.
in the king's name.
In the king's name, right? So that's a same seal again, right? authority of the king's name. Keep it.
And sealed it with the king's ring.
And sealed it with the king's ring. So the king will have a ring, and he will stamp. He will get the wax, right? And he will pour the wax on the letter, and he will stamp his ring on there, which will have his signature. That's how we seal things, right? Go ahead, Matthew.
2nd Ezra chapter 10, verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And which is the greatest of all,
Uh-huh.
the seal of Zion.
What?
The seal of Zion.
The city of Zion,
The seal of Zion.
the city of David was built upon Mount Zion, right? David ruled it, right? David's name in Hebrew. David, right? Da, wa, da. It's very important, right? Keep it. The seal of Zion
Hath now lost her honor.
has now done what?
Lost her honor.
The seal of Zion, which was the seal for the city of David, lost our honor because Jewish people stole our culture. You write David's name by putting one dot like this, doing like this. Right? This wa in our language is like writing an and. That's how we write and in Hebrew. You put a wa there at the beginning of every word to say and. So two triangles put together becomes this right here. And now, because we lost our culture, the white man stole our culture, the oppressors, like in my language, right from the YouTube, right? Now read it again.
And which is the greatest of all.
This is the greatest of all. The symbol that represented us as a race. Read.
The seal of Zion.
The seal of Zion. And the Christ is on the throne of David. So it represents Christ's rulership. He decided to sit on a throne that has what? The seal of David on it. This is the seal of Zion. Keep it in.
Hath now lost her honor.
Now lost the honor. It's like in the street. What are you gonna hear? What are you gonna hear? That is the star of Molech. But it lost honor. That's we're Africans. That's the Jewish man's star. Lost the honor. You see what I'm saying? And now, what did your person do? Your person will take this and put on all kind of demonry and witchcraft. You got the people, not the Illuminati. The Illuminati rules the world. So a rapper was not in the Illuminati. He's a nigga that can get killed, robbed, stolen. The Leo Cohen, the music executives, robbed him. Right? So a rapper is not in the Illuminati. But to become the rapper, there's a conspiracy out there that they have to put a circle on the ground, something like this, sometimes a pentagram, candles all around it, and do weird stuff. Worship a statue of a goat head. Right? So now this thing right here lost its honor. And we live in that today. Where we wear this in public, and you feel naked. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tuck my shield in. Brothers are coming. You got shield on? Come on here right quick. You wear in public. You wear this right here. Look at this strong brother right rocking the shit, right? You wear this in public, right? People start looking at him like, what are you wearing? He start feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm naked. I gotta tuck my. Nah, man, not anymore West, man. We ain't no shield tuck this in here, man. Right. You know what I mean? That's what that thing is. That thing lost its honor. And oh, you're one of those black Hebrew Israelites, huh? Or you one of those BHIs, huh? Lost its honor. So, first, you want to take them?
Oh, Salaki, so if I may, and the airways is opening up. And today, if I may, when I was stuck in traffic on my way to the school, I was doing this. I was doing this for the brothers and sisters, and they was like, and guess what? I'm stuck in traffic. I gave out about 3 flyers, 4 flyers. Because I showed this, and they wanted to know, oh, we one of those.
Yeah.
Israelites.
You one of those guys. Oh, yelling on the corner, huh?
Oh, God.
Oh, we did. Absolutely. He questions all that. We didn't get Matthew.
2nd Ezra, the 10th chapter and the 23rd verse. And which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion hath now lost her honor.
We don't know who we are no more, and this thing now belongs to somebody else. Of people who are, my gosh, killing babies by sucking on their penis and giving them herpes.
That's right.
That's who wears this thing right now. Right? People who run Hollywood, who's into all demonery and witchcraft. Coming to public, I'm an Orthodox Jewish man, and then he sent pills from Germany to Israel, 13,000 pills. It's a drug trafficker.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? This thing Lord is honor, man. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
For she is delivered.
For what?
For she is delivered.
For she is what?
Delivered
Keep reading.
into the hands of them that hate us.
Oh my gosh. You are anti-Semitic. Hold on, we're Jews also. Kanye West said, blacks are Jews also. You're like this. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. You're anti. When we can't be a Jew too. You read this thing right here. You are hated. This thing lost honor on you. She what? Read it from the top again.
And, which is the greatest of all, the seal of Sion hath now lost her honor.
You can't wear this. It's dishonorable for you to wear that. People look at you wear this to an ignorant person in the public. They say, "Oh, you're Illuminati." My cousin told me that I wore a shield, man, when I was a trooper in school. I wore that to my cousin's house in Spring Valley, and they thought I was into some Illuminati, Gothic Freemason stuff. I was accused of that. Real talk. This was my story coming in school. I was accused of being a Freemason. Because this thing lost its honor. Go ahead, Lashawan.
My parents tried to say that I was part of the Earth, Winds, and Gods, the seven nations, the seven.
Oh, they thought it was 5%.
Yeah, they're like, that's the same thing. That they're like, what? And they showed me, this is what you know. I'm like, what the hell is that?
But they don't rock this though.
Nope.
But because he wears this honorable thing. Now, see, you're part of some cult, you're part of some group that, you go to jail. This thing don't hurt nobody. But you wear this, you go to jail, the CIA will follow you around, the FBI, bunch of scared people. All right? Keep it in.
For she is delivered.
She is what?
Delivered.
She is delivered to who? Read.
Into the hands of
Into
them. Into the hands.
Into the hands, into the possession. Read.
Of them that hate us.
Jewish people hate us.
That's right.
That's a fact. I look on the news right now. And Jewish people hate Kanye West because he says an Israelite. They hate Kyrie Irving because he shared a link that talks about people being Israelites. You cannot wear this. It's dishonorable. And that thing right here is simply those two triangles. It's like today. It's like putting D and D. Right? You wear that, you're evil. You're in a cult. You should get locked up. You see what I'm saying? People will say, oh, I wish God hurts you. As people say about the camp. I wish God should come and hurt you. The evidence should come and take you away. They said to us last time we was in Connecticut camp. You see what I'm saying? You cannot rock that. It's dishonorable. It's a shameful thing. My brothers, don't feel naked, man. You see what I'm saying? Don't feel naked, man. You know what I mean? We're the real Jews. Kanye was right.
That's right.
The Jews are black. See what I mean? Kyrie Irving, he shared a post that led to the truth of our identity. The Jews are black.
That's right.
They're not white. If you see someone have this, the Bible says what? She's what?
She is delivered.
She is delivered
into the hands of them that hate us.
If you see someone that had this while we didn't know who we were, it doesn't belong to them. This does not belong to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The Bible said that. He delivered to them who he doesn't belong to. All right? Okay, we're going to drop that, all right? How much shape we getting online right now before we talk that? I know online, they kill us for that every week. They say, oh, the Star Reporter. And they start posting A1 526. See, the Star Reporter. And then they go on Google. And then what did they show? Some imposing of some war in Europe when they got the shield of David in some goat devil's head or something like that.
That's right.
Some statue. Because that thing is lost honor. It's a shameful thing to wear that. And it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible, it's a shameful thing to wear that. And we live it. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Go ahead.
I got a quick,
Go ahead.
yeah, I had a quick question for something that you mentioned earlier about the Israelites when we was coming out of Egypt.
Yeah.
You said the Amalekites was attacking the rear of the camp that was moving along.
Yeah, get that scriptures in the book of Numbers. Look for the lane, look for Amalek. Look for Amalek in the book of Numbers. Go ahead.
What were they doing there at that time that we was leaving, being that they from that Turkish area?
They heard that we leave in Egypt.
And they came and plotted.
They came and plotted. That's what they did. Okay, around that time in history, they might have not been so far from Turkey yet and Ukraine yet. Because in history, people move around in history. Right. So the more years they go back, people are more condensed to the center, the middle of the earth, which will be the Middle East, right? People say, oh, there's no Middle West, there's no Middle North, there's no Middle East, right? That Middle East area, that East just means Asia. You go to read into books about they got made for this. People are map makers. People make maps.
Chronology.
Something like that. That's more like time. But there's a name for map makers. That's right there. Cartography or something like that.
Yeah.
That thing right there. They used to have east going up like this. East will be up like that. They call it the Orient. And that word for Asia, right, is now called East today. Right? So Middle East used to just mean middle of the earth in Asia. So it's like saying near East and then you have Far East. You know where Far East is. You have Near East and then you have Far East. You know what I'm saying? Middle East just means Near East. Or Middle Asia. Middle of the earth Asia. And then you have Far East or Far Asia. Alright? So don't get hooked up with those. I think you got a lot of enemies out there. You know what I mean? Go ahead, right?
That word was cartographer.
That's it right there. That's it right there. Give it my hand. That's it. You know what I mean? Both sides, right. Go ahead.
Last question.
Yes.
For the Assyrians, ethnically, what race was there then, and who is that now today?
I saw AS right there. The Syrians from these people right here. I saw. All right. I believe their name is something like Ashur War, something like that. Ashur War. Let me pick it up right quick and let's even get a meaning of that right quick. What we do is we go into our Bible app. Right? Everyone should try to download a Bible app that has the concordance in there. There we go. Concordance code 804. So you could just put Assyria in there, right? Put Assyria. And I believe the same word comes up in the concordance. Assyria. Okay. So I go on my Bible app. Alright. And you got Assyria there. Got 804. When you go to 804 right here for Syria, it's Ashur War. So what I want to do is I want to get the spelling right. So I go to our favorite interlinear app. I go to the verse that I just was, which was Genesis 2:14, which is talking about the 4 rivers, which determines where the land of Israel is. The true land of Israel is the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden, by location, I defined in Genesis, right here, is right in the middle of the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Pihon, and the Gihon, which are not in Africa. You see what I'm saying? The Tigris and the Euphrates don't go to Africa. Yeah, they go out from the Middle East, out into the Far East. You see what I'm saying? Here's the word for Syria right here, Ashur War. Or Ashur War. Right, so just like this right here. War. War. Right? Their origin of its definition, I'm not sure. I know Ashar is a word for happy in one context, right? Usually in the middle of usually when it's written, Ashar is will say that. Okay, but Ashar means happy. I don't know if their name, I don't know if the word for Assyria means happy. I'm not sure. We have to look into our concordance to see what they give us here. Matthew, oh, sure. Yeah, maybe that will okay. Look at Assyria right here. Look at the chorus project. Right? This is the sheet that everybody should have. Right? Sending everybody for months and years, contact the camp leader. Right? Contact the camp leader for one of these. Right? In the meantime, so we get the link straightened up. But it's good to have a bond with your camp leader, get to know him, call that brother, call your local school. Right? Get involved. As the Bible says, the kingdom comes not with observation. Give me that scripture too. The kingdom comes not with observation. If you're at home and you're not contacting your camp leader, you are not helping us get the kingdom of heaven. See what I'm saying? My God, Kyrie Irving, at least Kyrie Irving got balls. You know what I mean? Kanye West got balls. Kanye West got courage. A lot of courage that is rare amongst people who are just online watchers or online. All right, go ahead, put this up.
Oh, it's a lot.
Action does this thing. Action.
So
to go out there and get it. Because things don't just come to you. And Christ ain't just going to come to you. You have to go out there. The scripture says the saints shall take the kingdom. Right. Not the saints shall wait and receive the kingdom. Take the kingdom. Go ahead.
Salaki. So we have one question. We have one question for Jonathan Thomas. It says, Salaki, sir, what Bible app are you using? I would like to download that.
Just go in Play Store. Go in the Play Store, put in KJV Concordance. Right? KJV Concordance. This one right here. Or the only nothing more settings, right? And to see if it comes up on the name and everything. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, here we go. This is it right here. Bible Concordance and Strong. Igor apps. That's the Bible app I'm using. All right, you see it?
Right there, sir.
Good,
Perfect.
good. Right. And then you want the other one too, the interlinear, right? How do I? Right, app details. There we go. This is the interlinear one I use. Hebrew Greek Interlinear Bible. Hagiostek. You know what I mean? So what you do is now, the purpose of this class, right, in the curriculum with the ISBK, right, is that we watch Hebrew Clinic on Fridays. So we can exercise it the following morning. Right? You wonder how Henry's Aliyah begins to break. Class is called Friday, how to interpret, how to read the things, and then they exercise what they learned on the Friday, the following Saturday morning. Now you got the internet. So you know what I mean. You might have worked today, you might be tired, you might sleep in the morning. You could be online and following along in the Hebrew. These persons are what they're trying to read it on the screen on the computer or what's my phone right here. You can follow along in the Hebrew on the Sabbath service. You have to have practice. You need that repetition. Strive for mastery is what the priest says also. Strive for mastery, right? Okay. Some man race for a carnal crown. Some people want to be MVP of some sport. You know what I mean? Or to go in the Olympics. Well, we're trying to get a kingdom. I mean, that's what medals, man. That's what something great. It's not about the earth. I want a country. I want a part of the earth that says land of Hazahab and children.
Right.
That's a lot of you. You know what I mean? The only one that land of Parazazar and kids. Land of Astraga farm. You know what I mean? Steps K, you die. You know, land of Brian. The only one, a land of Brian?
Absolutely.
A land of Matthew? Come on, man. Go ahead, brother. You got hand up?
Salaki, sir, if I may, and Salaki for that, just let me know, the time is, not 9:08.
Okay, come.
And also, Comic-Con,
Go ahead.
about the, Salaki, and if I may, I will press to have that land. Have, you know what I'm saying, have the land, they done took, at least 90% of, the Bahamas. You know what I mean? And they buying islands. So, yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, your person has behind it says, the person has the dew of heaven. But heaven is for us. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, heaven, you think earth is nice now. You think heathens got it nice now. You put us the eye.
That's right.
Every day I look at how he runs things. I be like, this is dumb. Why is the system here made so dumb? You know what people say about, oh yeah, we're trying to work in a broken system. It was never fixed. It's not a broken system. This is just the dew of heaven. It's just not right here. But there's a place where it's going to be right. What you got there, Matthew?
Assyria. Originally a land between the upper Tigris and Zab rivers.
Right. That's in the real Garden of Eden. That's Eden in the Garden of Eden. You want to write the desert because it's all lands. Right? That place in history was called the Fertile Crescent. It was the most precious land that any people wanted, to the point where today people still fight for it.
Right.
They call it the Holy Wars or Holy Land Wars or something like that.
Right.
Because that was the Holy Land. It's not Ethiopia. I don't know what people say, right? It's not Ethiopia. But now the land of the four rivers is everything within the Nile River too. So you got the Tigris, the Euphrates, right? You got the Gulf of Aden that goes into that Suez Canal, that goes to the Mediterranean. That's one river. Another river, that's the third river. And these rivers go out the wall to the whole earth. And then in Genesis it says what? It borders Ethiopia with the Nile River. So that's the part of Africa. If I'm getting what we're taught correctly, that eastern part of Africa is part of our land. Right? But our land is from there, from the Nile River, all the way to half of Pakistan. That's our land. Yeah. Afghanistan, Syria, all that's our land. Right. If I'm not mistaken, right? Here's the list of the four rivers, right? I don't think we got time for that, right? Next week we'll do the four rivers, what the rivers' names mean in the Bible, right? But yeah, from the Nile River all the way to half of Pakistan. Right? Let's see if we can get it on a map right here. Here's the map. Right? And the scripture was so correct about the Nile River too, because that Nile River starts from here and it goes all the way, you follow it down. They started naming it Queen Victoria's River, Albert's River when it goes down. Right? So from all of this, right, all the way to half of Pakistan over here. So if I can see if I can put all this on the screen. Right? So there we go. There's a lot of water in there. You see, they got water in the middle, water over here, water over there, and then you just look for the Nile River. Right? I'm making sure I got this confirmed about the Nile River. Right? Because we read about it recently in the book of Josephus. You know what I mean? So we went and got it confirmed about a month ago. Okay? And that Nile River is the river. Here's the river right here. Here's the map. Where all that greenery is. Really, this whole land should be green. All this land is cursed because the heathen are there. That's all our land. All the mountains are all gold and all kinds of things in there. Palladium and all that uranium they hate, platinum, titanium. The earth is full of metals. And the oppressors only get in the top. I want to know what's under the ground.
Right.
I'm gonna have them under the ground like the elves in Lord of the Rings, man. The elves, no, not the elves, the dwarves.
Yeah.
The dwarves, they got a whole underground kingdom on it. They got under the ground down there, man, making things for us, man. You know what I mean? All that is our land. All that land that's cursed and dried up because we ain't there. Alright? On the king, the earth shall not yield her strength. Right? Go ahead, Brian. We got there.
From the Nile River up to the Syria, Turkey area, halfway through Pakistan, Yemen, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our land. You know what I mean?
That's the Fertile Crescent. That's the Levant area.
That's the fertile, but that was the name of the Garden of Eden, the Fertile Crescent. Right? You can drop the book on Matthew. It's not going into what the name means. All right. So let's make sure we finish with the alphabet what we got here. Right? Right. So we got the La, Hana, the figure of a man's hand doing this. Behold. Right? Behold. Right? Also there was a figure. Still the oil and right here up here. Okay. There's a popular term in the Bible you gotta look out for, right? I'm telling you this is a heads up. You're gonna come across words like this. There's a phenomenon called Hananya. Hananya. Right? In Hebrew, written like Hananya. Hananya. Right? This is based on taking this word right here, Hana. Take the word Hana. Right? And you put with it, right? I shouldn't write the and right there, right? I should write the Hebrew and. The Hebrew and, which is a wow. Okay? A fish hook. On a fish hook, you can stack fishes on top of it. The fish hook when you catch it. That's what fishers do when you have nets, you have a pole made out of wood, and you have a metal spoke in there, and the both ends are sharp. We throw it in the water, catch fish. And we put it to the side, when it's time to go home, you stack the fishes up on the fish hook. So we add things on there. We got this fish and the other fish. And why it's like a similar thing, right? Hana and Anya. Anya is how we say I am, formally. Right? So the whole idea was what? Behold, I am. Or look, me. That's the whole idea. Look, me. Behold, me. Hanania. Hanania. Right? Hanania. You go look for anywhere where it says, here I am in the Bible. You go look for where Isaac was calling for Esau. And he said, here I am. Right? That's how we spoke, right? That's everywhere, right? That was a compound word. We got things that we call compound words. Where this is based on two words, Hana and Anya, rolled together just like how we say, nah man. When we're saying, do you know what I mean? Right, nah man, or what's one of them other ones we four words together. I'm finna do something. I'm feeling to do something. I'm finna do this. I'm finna do that. I'm feeling to do that. Right? That's our culture. Right? But here's a good thing to make it not complicated. There's not too many of these. But if you ever see this is a good time in your notes. I want you to write this down right here. Hanania. Right? Using Hana and Anya. Okay? Okay? Good. While the bishop we just talked about, Zion, the weapon, we talked about that. Hawama is a picture of a wall. It's a figure of a wall. Tana, right, the shaping of the bottom of the basket. Yad, for yad, which is your hand, really your forearm doing this. Your upper arm is called the Zara Y, right, arm, right? But your hand, the picture is showing this part of the hand, this figure right here. So it's doing right here like this. That's this figure right here. Okay? Cup for the palm of your hands. the shaping of the palm of your hand, the right, the marking in your hand. That's that right here, ka. La, for Lama, which is learn. It's the figure of a walking stick held up in the air. It used to be written like so. A little rounded at the bottom. Looks like a round walking stick. Right? But here's the thing, we got write things all the time. We write receipts, and then the writing changes over the year. You might have a writing style, he might have a writing style, I got a writing style. But our writing styles are not all the same. You might see different variations of how things are written. And then there's period, like the book said, there's periods of development. So we're working with the last known established, recognized, authorized by the Most High, right? The writing style. Of course, you're gonna find one that predate this, but this was the one that was in the development. All right, that developed to this point right here. Okay? Mayam, right? We got the water waves in there. Another one, which is not the same. This is a picture of a seed sprouting roots. The roots go down under the ground. Plant goes up the top. Right? Okay? The word for flag is samak. Right? All the books say samak. And that word samak means established. Right? You want to establish a land. You want to establish rules for the land. You're going to put a flag there. This is the skeleton of our flags. Our flags need to stand up. So we got a pole going up and down, and we got joists that go across to hold the flag open. It's not like today's flag where the flag, it's up because the wind is blowing. We hold our flag up like a protest flag. Right? That was the skeleton of it right there. Right? We got this figure right here for the eye. Right? In the Hebrew, ayan. I personally believe that the English word for eye comes from ayan. Where else would it come from? Okay? Eye came from ayan. They call it ayan in the Bible. Ayan. Okay? Eyeball right here. Eye. Okay? And then we got pa, the figure of a mouth. This is the mouth open. This is the top of the jaw. This is the bottom of the jaw. Inside we all the tongue and teeth and everything. Right? Tazad means side. This is a figure of a man lying down on his side. Right? Over time, writing, we stopped doing this, right? And it just became this. Okay? Kwam, this is the figure of the sunrise, there's the ocean, and the sun rising, right? And is what? It's going up. That's the figure of the sun rising. Okay? Ra, we did Ra earlier. It's a picture of a man's head. Here's his neck. Here's his beard. Here's a man's afro. Right? You got an eye, got a mouth, got a nose. Ra, or head. Okay? Okay? And then we got Shan, it's a picture of animal. Right? That's his two front teeth right there. Right? Two front teeth of an animal. I don't know how an animal got ears, got eyes. That's the two front teeth right there for the animal. Shan. Shan is teeth. Ra'ash is head. You get the sound Ra. So in all these words here, you take the first sound from the word. And that sound represents this figure you see here. So for Allah we say ah. For Bayan we say ba. All the way down. Gamal, ga. Ah, ba, ga, da. Ha, wa, za. Right? Ha. You pronounce that with your throat. The book says pronounced as a harsh H. That's what the book says. It's pronounced as a harsh H off the throat. Ha. Hawama. Captain Khatazar. Captain Tazar Yak. like that. Okay? Tana'ah begins with what, Matthew?
Sorry?
Tana'ah begins with what sound?
Ta.
Ta. So this is a ta. Yad begins with what sound?
Ya.
Ya. Ka begins with what sound?
Ka.
Ka. There you go. And you go on and on and on. What we got here?
Can't say
You can't see the light shining, right? This is Lamad. Lamad. What's the sound for Lamad here?
La.
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 Ma. Keep
Na.
going. Na.
I.
Nope. That's not here. What's this right here? This is Samak. Right? What's the first sound in Samak?
Sa.
Sa. Right? I believe the letter S. My personal belief, I mean, it might not be true. My personal belief is that the letter S was formed by doing this right here. That's how I believe the S was formed, like this. Right? It might not be, but that's my personal belief. Because the book says the letters today was born out of the Hebrew. That's what it said. You know what I mean? And then we got, what do we got here, Matthew? I. What about this?
Pa.
Pa. What about this?
Taza.
Taza. What about this?
Qua.
Qua. Comes from quam, right? Qua. Right? Let me fix the shot right here. We got this B going forward. Crazy. Right? We gotta draw like two front teeth. There we go. Of an animal. Right? Where we at? We're what?
Ra.
Ra. For Ra'ash. What we got here?
Sha.
Shah. For Shan. Right? What we got here?
Ta.
Tha. For thou. For mark. Meaning X. Right? In the middle back? X marks the spot. Right? And that's how our alphabet was made. Right? Any more questions? Any more questions online?
Live, sir.
No questions in here. And with that, I pass the class of prison officer 500 to wrap this up.
Clap it up. Let Israel, we'll give him a courtesy salute. Let Israel, Amaju, what you need to stand. Let Israel, Amaj Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. That's dismissed.